What is going on, everybody? What is going on, The Catch fam? My name is Jon Dawson, and in today's video, we will be conducting an 8-man mock draft through the ESPN platform. This will be a PPR scoring format. If you do enjoy today's video, be sure to hit that like button down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. If you're new to the channel, we put out free daily fantasy football content, and at the moment, we are running a free subscriber mock draft nearly every single day at the channel. Be sure to join our Discord with the link down below as well to get updates on when we are drafting. And feel free to drop any comments, questions, concerns pertaining to the 2022 fantasy football season down below. If you have any requests for any specific types of drafts, whether it's half PPR, 14-man, 10-man, 8-man, full PPR, standard, whatever it is, let me know in the comments down below. I will get that on the queue and recorded for you as well. Without further ado, we are kicking off this draft in about 3 seconds. Make that 0 seconds. Let's get right into it, guys. So I have got the 8th overall selection, which is nice, especially in these smaller drafts, because you can plan those 2 picks out ahead of time. You guys know in our 10-man mock drafts and 12-man mock drafts, I have really been conducting what I call a bounce back strategy, switching between the running back and receiver position and letting a tight end and quarterback fall to us at the right time. But in an 8-man draft, I don't necessarily like that specific strategy. I'm really going just for the highest upside available, but I do think that in tonight's draft, I'm going to go 0 running back and just go for upside at receiver, tight end, and quarterback, and just kind of let some good value running backs fall to us throughout this draft. To start things off, we've got JT gone with the 1st overall selection, then Austin Eckler is gone at 1.2. So like I said, we're going to be eyeing some high value receivers at pick 8 and pick 9. No way Kupp or JJ are going to fall out of there, but there is a small chance that Jamar Chase could fall out. But I do think we'll be able to land a Davante Adams and a Stephon Diggs, which would be a really, really nice pairing, but we'll see. We've got one more selection here till we pick. So CMC's gone at 1.3. JJ's gone at 1.4, Cooper Kupp gone at 1.5, and Derrick Henry goes at 1.6, and there goes Najee Harris at 1.7. So I'm going to pick up Jamar Chase, and it's really interesting here because I personally believe in Davante Adams. I do think he's going to have a very good season, but I also really like Stephon Diggs here. For the sake of this mock draft, I'm going to go with Diggs, roll with the Bills offense. I mean, Chase from the Bengals offense, and then Diggs from the Bills offense is just an absolute great value in terms of 2 explosive offenses moving into the 2022 fantasy football season. All right, Dalvin Cook's gone at 10, Deebo Samuel gone at 11, and Davante Adams gone at 12. So we're moving into the 2nd round here. We do not pick again till the end of the 3rd. We got the first selection of the 12th round, going wide receiver heavy to start out. And like I said, we're going 0 running back, but there does come a point where if a good enough value at the position shows up, we just won't pass them up. But outside of that, man, I would like to get a high value tight end at pick 24. If a guy like Kelsey or Andrews falls out to us, I'm fine with that for the purpose of the mock draft. But just keep in mind, guys, realistically, even in an 8-man draft, I don't think that Kelsey or Andrews will be around that late. But I would like to go tight end there, potentially quarterback. We could think about getting that stack with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, but more than likely we'll probably snag up another receiver and a tight end before we approach the 5th round. All right, so a little bit of a run at the running back position here. We got Joe Mixon gone and Alvin Kamara as well as DeAndre Swift. So we'll just kind of sit back and see what happens. We've got one more selection here in the 2nd round, and there goes Keenan Allen to finish out the 2nd round. So I'm not always a huge fan of a 0 running back strategy or a 0 wide receiver strategy. Just any of those 0 whatever position strategies, I'm just not a giant fan of. Maybe outside the 0 QB strategy, I think you could get by with. But, you know, I do think that in an 8-man draft, you definitely have the capability to ignore a single position. There's going to be a lot of depth at receiver all the way through an 8-man draft, and there's going to be a lot of depth at running back all the way through an 8-man draft, but definitely more value at receiver. So I am going to do another 8-man draft, maybe within the week or next week, where I go 0 receiver, but I just wanted to try and get that nice upside at receiver for this specific mock draft. So we'll kind of see what happens as we are approaching pick 24 overall. So Fournette's gone, Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, and James Conner. Let's take a look at who's available. When you look at the running backs available, there's some really nice value here. Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, Saquon Barkley, Zeke, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, I mean, even Etienne, Mitchell, I mean, there's some good running backs hanging around. But let's take a look. I mean, Josh Allen's hanging around, but I mean, part of me is tempted to go Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce here if they're available. But let's take a look at receiver. I really like Mike Evans hanging around. There goes Mark Andrews. So Travis Kelce is our top target here. If he gets selected, then we'll probably go quarterback, take Josh Allen. I mean, there goes Saquon Barkley. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get Mike Evans as my wide receiver 3, which I'm completely ecstatic about. We've got Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, and Mike Evans. And then I'm going to switch the tight end position. I'm going to go Travis Kelce all day long. Just look at the start to that roster, man. Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, and Travis Kelce. Just an absolutely beautiful start for a 0 running back team. Now, if you value the running back position, obviously you're not going to like this team whatsoever. So regardless, we'll move into the 4th round here with no running backs. And as we approach the 5th round, does come time where we can start to think about taking at least one running back. And I'm going to say if Josh Allen somehow falls out to pick 40, there's no way we're passing them up. But I would like to get an early quarterback. There goes Josh Allen at pick 26. I did not think there's any way he's going to fall out there. But I do think that we're going to try and target a QB at 40, dependent on who's available, right? I mean, it's very possible that a couple QBs go here. But if Mahomes or Herbert slide out to pick 40, then I'll happily take either of those guys, especially Justin Herbert. Really high on Herbert going into 2022. So I will just kind of keep an eye looking at receiver here. I mean, there's going to be a lot of value at receiver throughout the draft, but I would like to land Mike Williams in this area. I think he'd be a really nice upside type play for this roster. Continuing to look at bye weeks as well, we should be fine with him at bye week 8, but we'll kind of sit back here and let's start to think about a running back potentially as well. I mean, I don't mind Zeke, Josh Jacobs, Etienne, or Mitchell coming up in pick 40 or 41, but we'll just kind of see, like I said, if there's a quarterback hanging around that we like. And David Montgomery sitting here as well would not be a bad selection. So definitely a possibility that a couple of those guys go. So we'll just kind of sit back and we'll see how this thing plays out. All right, so Nick Chubb's gone at 27, Javonte Williams gone at 28, and Jalen Waddle gets selected at pick 29 overall. All right, so a bit of a run at the running back position to finish out the 4th round. Zeke's gone, Cam Akers gone, and David Montgomery gone. So I do think moving in to pick 40 and pick 41, we need to go ahead and secure at least one running back. I think we're going to hold off at the quarterback position. I do think in the 7th or 8th round, we can still land a QB of high value like a Joe Burrow or a Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to hold off here. Going to select another receiver here and another running back. I'd like to hit Mike Williams. If he's not available, I'd probably go with DK Metcalf, Scary Terry, someone along those lines. But I do think that picking up a running back here is definitely a concern. So, which is definitely going to be a concern in a 0 running back strategy, right? So I would like to land Josh Jacobs here, but I do like the value of Etienne and Mitchell sitting around as well. So we'll kind of sit back here. As we are now into the 5th round, we've seen A.J. Brown, Michael Pittman, Scary Terry, DJ Moore, and T. Higgins gone a big run at the receiver position gone. So we'll see who gets picked at 38 and 39. Then we'll make our selections at 40 to finish out the 5th round. And then we'll make that first overall selection in the 6th round as well, man. So going to be interesting here. And this is kind of what happens if you do go 0 running back, right? So we're probably going to pick one running back here, and then I'd like to get one more receiver. And then after that, we probably are going to have to take a bit of a pause from the receiver position for some time, which is okay. You're going to be able to find very good value late in the draft, especially in an 8-man league. All right, so we'll take our first running back in Josh Jacobs. We've got 4 receivers: Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans, and Mike Williams. I mean, just absolutely crazy value at the receiver position. If you think about this vice versa, right? If you went 0 receiver, you'd be looking at the opposite type of a team. You'd have all your upside at running back and one receiver that you believe in. So let's say we just selected our first receiver. It would have been Mike Williams, which would have been a great start to this team. Then you look at the players that are available: Chris Godwin, Darnell Mooney, Hollywood Brown, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Renfrow, Michael Thomas. I mean, you got all kinds of names still hanging around that offer a ton of value, even going into later tiers. I mean, you got Drake London, Devonta Smith, Adam Thielen, DeAndre Hopkins. You got all those rookies. You got Russell Gage. You got all kinds of value at the receiver position. So for the purpose of tonight's mock draft, we went 0 running back. I do think that a 0 wide receiver strategy is probably better suited for an 8-man draft. We'll find out later in the week. Like I said, I am going to put together one of those for you guys as well. All right, a little bit of a run at receiver, but we got some running backs and QBs and a tight end sprinkled in to the 6th round. So after my selection of Josh Jacobs, we got DK Metcalf, Brandon Cooks, Patty Mahomes, Kyle Pitts, Antonio Gibson, Chris Godwin, and Breece Hall gone into the 7th round. Moving quickly here, we got Herbert, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Mark Cooper, Lamar Jackson, Darren Waller, Etienne, and George Kittle gone. All right, so I'm going to go running back here. I'm going to pick up Eli Mitchell. I'm happy with that selection. Let's take a look at QB. Kyler Murray's kind of intriguing here. Man, there are some really, really good receivers hanging around, but it's just not where we need to go. I'm going to go with another running back. I'm not crazy about any of the running backs sitting here, but I'm going to snag up A.J. Dillon, call it a reach. I don't care, man. I love A.J. Dillon. I don't want to lose him from this team, and I don't think he would have got picked there, but I put Dillon, way ahead of some of the running backs that are sitting here. Like him more than Miles Sanders, like him more than Patty and Cheese, Devin Singletary, and Kareem Hunt. So let me know in the comments if you guys don't like that pick. I don't have a problem with it personally whatsoever. Now, even though we didn't need another wide receiver, there was a ton of value sitting here at receiver. Darnell Mooney, Hollywood Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Hunter Renfrow, all off of the board after that selection of A.J. Dillon. So you could easily argue that I should have gone receiver there, and you could argue that I should have gone quarterback as well. You get that nice upside from Kyler Murray, but I just think we can hold off and still select a guy like Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, which I'd be completely fine with. Now, I will say when it comes to an 8-man league as a whole, you're going to be going up against a phenomenal quarterback on a weekly basis. So the quarterback position definitely does hold a lot of value, but the way that this draft has gone tonight, I just think we're going to be able to hold off at the QB position for a little bit longer. Now, I would like to get Joe Burrow because we've got my guy Jamar Chase on this team, and just securing that stack would really bring a lot of value to this team overall. So I might go ahead and quote unquote reach for Burrow at pick 72. Once again, guys, for me personally, I don't pay attention to ADP whatsoever. It really doesn't bother me if I'm going out and securing a player that I believe helps my roster gain immediate value. I don't care about ADP whatsoever, right? So, you look at A.J. Dillon there, way back in ADP in ESPN's ranking, but he is going relatively early in our subscriber mock draft. So even to make this a little bit more realistic, I don't have a problem taking him there whatsoever. All right, let's take a look at running back. It's pretty thin, but I might go ahead and snag up one of those guys. Let's snag up Joe Burrow here. And then part of me really wants to go double quarterback here. Part of me really wants to go Jalen Hurts and just get that upside. There's plenty of good receivers hanging around. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go double QB here. Not going to draft another QB tonight. We'll take Burrow there, and we'll take Hurts. I love that, man. An 8-man team, I absolutely love that. So let's take a look here. We need to probably select at least 3 more running backs to finish things out, and then probably just the best player available to end out this draft. There's still so many good receivers, man. I'm excited to do a 0 wide receiver strategy and an 8-man format later on in the week. Hopkins and Devonta Smith, there might come a point at pick 88 or 89 where I might go ahead and snag those guys up. And that would really finish out that wide receiver room in very good fashion. But I would I would take a chance on Dameon Pierce or CEH at pick 88 or 89 moving up here. Tony Pollard is someone I would like to add to this roster. I don't mind Michael Carter. Don't mind Rashad Penny, James Cook, Melvin Gordon, as well as Dameon Pierce and Tyler Algier, even Darrell Henderson, right? Some of those really late round value guys I'm fine with. I'm not crazy about Kareem Hunt at the moment, but I don't think he would necessarily be a bad addition around pick 88 as well. So here in the 10th round, after my selection of Jalen Hurts, we've seen Drake London, Elijah Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Allen Robinson, and Devonta Smith gone. Just look at those 5 receivers here in the 10th round that have been selected, right? London, Moore, Juju, Robinson, Smith. Just really good value at the position. That's the one thing. There's just always going to be depth at the receiver position, and it's a different kind of depth in comparison to any other position, right? All right, so Damian Harris is gone. Dalton Schultz is gone. Into the 11th round, we got Treylon Burks and CEH off of the board. So for me personally, like I said, I just don't know if I can pass up on Hopkins here at 88, but I would like to snag up Tony Pollard. Now, me personally, I've got a lot of faith in Dameon Pierce and Tyler Algier, so I'm willing to take a little bit more of a risk at the running back position at this point in the draft because I think I can easily land either of those guys. But realistically, I would like to get Hopkins and Pollard here and then get Melvin Gordon in the 13th round and or Pierce and Algier. I will say, looking at the tight end position, I want to keep an eye on Dawson Knox. I really have a lot of faith. I've got him pretty high in my personal rankings, and I wouldn't mind having him behind Travis Kelce. I think it'll just bring a lot of good value to this team. So overall, man, going 0 running back, right? And there goes Tony Pollard, which definitely hurts us because I really wanted to land him here. But nonetheless, let's just take a look at running back here. I think Michael Carter is probably the best available player. All right, so give me Hopkins here. Oh, you could argue for Chase Edmonds here in full PPR, right? I'm going to go Michael Carter because I do think he's going to be pretty heavily involved within that offense. That slightly changes things because I feel a little bit more confident in the potential upside from Tony Pollard in later rounds than I do Michael Carter, but I'll go ahead and stack up Carter there, and I might just finish out 2 QBs. I'm really close to still considering Dawson Knox here at the end as well, but like if we could finish out with, you know, any combination of Rashad Penny, Cook, and Gordon here, I'd be pretty happy, right? And we still got Pierce and Algier, so these are the players that we're going to select from no matter who's available. You're going to see some pretty good names. I mean, Russell Gage still floating around, approaching the 13th round, just really nice value. There goes Christian Kirk and Dallas Goedert, followed by Kadarius Toney, and then into the 13th round, we've got Chris Olave and Brandon Ayuk gone. So I think we've pieced together a nice team here, although the running back room is relatively weak. I mean, Josh Jacobs, Eli Mitchell, AJ Dillon, and Michael Carter, those guys could get you through, right? And anytime you go 0 running back, right, that's what you're going to end up saying at the end of the draft. It's like, well, those guys could get me through, right? When you look at your quarterback position, you look at your tight end position, you look at your wide receiver position, especially in an 8-team draft, they're just going to be absolutely stacked. We look at this team that we've pieced together tonight, the rest of the team is 1000% stacked. So I'm going to take Penny here. I do believe that he offers a lot of nice value at the position. And then I am going to defer from Dawson Knox and go Melvin Gordon here through ESPN's platform. You can't, punt a kicker or defense and select an extra skill position player. It will make you draft a kicker and a defense. But you guys know on other platforms like Yahoo or on Sleeper that I will commonly punt a kicker or defense and get an extra skill position player, especially if we're going, 0 running back or something like that. But I mean, if realistically, even in an 8-man draft, if I'm in the 15th round and Dawson Knox is sitting around, even if I have Travis Kelce, I'm going to be considering Dawson Knox. There he goes. I'm glad someone drafted him. Let's go. At pick 116. I love to see it, man. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and snag up a defense and kicker and get this thing finished out. So let's just take Matt Gay, and then let's just take the Patriots defense. And that'll do it for today's mock draft, man. If you guys did enjoy today's content, be sure to hit that like button down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Come join the Catch family. We would love to have you here. And be sure to drop any comments, questions, concerns pertaining to the 2022 fantasy football season down below as well. Let me know what you guys thought of today's draft overall. All right, your running back strategy, full PPR, 8 teams overall. Let's see what we got here. Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Mike Evans to start that receiving room. That is just absolutely crazy. Travis Kelce's our tight end one, and we got Mike Williams. So we had 5 players off the board before selecting our first running backs, which were Josh Jacobs, Elijah Mitchell, and AJ Dillon. I mean, this is, even in an 8-man draft, I think this is a really nice start. I personally really do think that Jacobs, Mitchell, and Dillon could get you through, man. We went 2 QBs back-to-back, Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts. We got Hopkins for some nice value at the receiver position later down the stretch as our 5th receiver. Then we just went with some committee approaches at the running back position to kind of fill out the roster. We got Michael Carter, Rashad Penny, and Melvin Gordon. I mean, any of those guys, even if Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and Javonte Williams are hanging around, I think all 3 of these guys still offer some value in their respective offenses. Picked up Matt Gay. He's a phenomenal kicker last year, and the Patriots defense is one of my favorite defenses to go out and grab. They're just extremely consistent year after year. So if you guys are thinking about the 0 running back strategy and an 8-team format, full PPR, this is what you guys can kind of expect in my humble opinion. I will put a little bit of an asterisk. I do think Travis Kelce, realistically, in real mock drafts, will go a little bit earlier. I don't know if you'll be able to secure him in the 4th round or into the 3rd, however you want to look at it for this respective draft. But overall, this is a general idea of what you guys can expect. So like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys would like to join any of our future subscriber mock drafts, be sure to join our Discord down below. It's completely free to do so. Our subscriber mock drafts end up being a lot more realistic than some of these through different platforms overall. That'll do it for today's video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. Drop any comments that you guys would like down below as well. And with that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch.